AD says, hey, they can see in the background. I'm like, all right, let's go.
I don't know about you, but every time the intro music plays to the show, I always play air drums to it, and I can't help myself. It's such a catchy, like, doom, 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 thing.
Yeah, you and your music. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Macro Chat Live Show. And today is Feedback Loop. Yes, and AD and I are going to dive in. And thank you guys so much for submitting the crazy, because the link wasn't working, and AD and I were working hard to make it better for you guys next time. So I apologize. That's what happens. Things happen all the time. But let's say some thanks to everyone. Yeah. Scott.
Woohoo, Scott Norris
is here. Cliff.
The third musketeer, nice right there.
Yeah, the third musketeer. Cliff, thank you so much for stopping in. And Jan, always a pleasure to have you. And Debbie, she's got some images. Thank you, Debbie, for working hard. And let's see. I'm sure there'll be some more popping in.
Catherine.
Catherine's here. Catherine's here.
Jan
She's
is
got
here?
an image. Yes, I said Jan. Jan is here.
Awesome.
And I used to say Jan A all the time. And Ashley used to hear me. She's like, Mom, why do you go Jan A? Jan A. I go, because I'm Janice. So I just, whatever. I was doing the air guitar. Oh, Scott was doing it too.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are too funny. Yeah. So welcome so much for joining. This is a really fun, laid back. We have the Macro Chat live show every other Thursday. And I'm so honored to have AD with me doing Feedback Loop. And we had such a blast that we decided that, yes, we will keep this going. But we have an announcement. I want to say cheers to 5 p.m. It's gone. Actually, it's just Coke. But I just, Baz isn't here yet. He's always like, hey, Baz, you got your wine? Hi, Karen. Nice to see you.
Wow.
Hello.
Awesome.
Karen, I think you're in the LinkedIn. I started a new fine art macro in LinkedIn.
Nice.
Nobody had it. So I was like, we got to do something like that for the macro fine art lovers. And then, so yes, we are changing time, and it's because our European friends have asked for this. So this is our last show with AD and I at 5 p.m. We are now going to, it's actually 1 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And what is it for you? 4, AD? 4 for you?
1, 5.
So
5.
it's 5.
Yeah, 5.
5.
Yep.
And then 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, it's still going to be late, but it's not going to be so crazy late out in Europe that our European friends can actually join us. So yes, see, yep, Karen said right. Yes. So we're going to have it in 2 weeks. We'll have another show, and it will be early. So if you're not part of our Macro Chat Facebook group, you should probably jump in there, because that's when I inform everybody of all the changes, who's going to be on the show, because we have a macro photographer joining us once a month. I'm not sure about May, AD, just because we were supposed to be on vacation, Kevin and I was actually going to cancel because we were going to be in Sedona. I'm so bummed that we cannot go.
You guys can't backcountry it and just like load up the camper and just say,
I wish.
It's just the two of you?
I wish. He's a first responder, so they won't let him have any time off. They canceled all vacations.
Yep,
so.
I hear you. That's the same here. So she has to be on call and ready to go at any moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand.
Yep. Yeah. So anyways, but hey, Barry. Okay, there's Barry. Cheers. I have to do this for him.
Oh.
With my purple.
Cheers.
My purple. Cheers. It is our last show. Thank you. Yes.
This is not ice water, by the way. I just want to clarify. This is pure vodka, just so I could be a rockin' partier.
By the end, we'll be like, woohoo, yeah, here's my vodka right here. That's funny. But yes, yes. So mark your calendars because we will have the next show May 14th at 1 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So before we get started, I definitely want to, do you have that sponsor? We'll do the sponsor video or no?
I think it's this button right here.
Ready to accomplish your macro photography goals? Our SJP membership will keep you on track, hold you accountable for your goals, and teach you new techniques. This program provides you the value of a college course with a fraction of the price.
For more information, head on to membership.sullivanjphotography.com. It's time to focus on your goals to get you to where you want to be.
So don't miss out.
Don't miss out.
Hey, it worked. It worked.
Yes, good job, AD.
Hey,
so good.
I'm on it.
You are. I just want to say real quick, we have the $1 a month to join, and then in 2 weeks it's going to be over. And we're actually, what we do is we normally don't have the membership open right now. We open up in the fall and then the spring. So what I'm going to do is leave it open for 2 more weeks, and then if you guys want to jump in for $1 and cancel afterwards, don't feel bad. I'm only doing this so if you guys want to do something, it's macro and landscape, and you want to just, if you're going stir crazy, that's what it's all about. But I do want to know who's there, and that's why you join. You can cancel, no problem.
It'll be the best dollar you've ever spent.
Seriously.
I guarantee
it. You get to hang out with me. I know. He's like, hello. Okay. All right. Well, we are so ready. Oh, let's share the screen real quick before we dive into the feedback loop. I want to share with you guys. AD hooked this up. So when you go to the website now, you'll see the Macro Chat live show over here to the right. So just click on that, and here's the show to always get information. I still have Thomas Shahan. Was he amazing or what, you guys? Thomas was on the last show. So if you guys haven't watched the last show, you've got to. It was a blast. So here is where you can submit your work. So if you click on this, what will happen is you'll see us, woohoo! And then it pops right over here. You only get to see us for a second. But it tells you basically information on how to submit your images. And now you can fill this form out, and you'll go to a load your images very easily now by just dumping them in here, and it goes to a different screen. So just dump them in, and then once you're done, you'll just click on right here where it says I have uploaded my files, and then you'll push send. Everything needs to be completed in order for you to submit. So it is as easy as that now, which I'm so happy. No more craziness, because we had a lot of craziness today. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys. I totally appreciate AD and I were working hard this morning trying to get all of that, in. You could start submitting for the next show, no problem now. So what we'll do is we're going to go into Lightroom, and we'll take little pit stops, too. And Catherine, you're the first one. So yes, and I'm like so happy, because what happened was I had said to the members, I only have, in a couple of the macro groups that I'm in, we only have 2 people submitting. And then one of the, I think it was you. I'm pretty sure it was you, Clifford. I'm not positive. I'm pretty sure it was you. That's how short-term memory loss for sure. He had said, hey, you're probably having problems because your form's not working. Well, that's what happened. And that's what
got right on the phone to me. And I went to work. First thing this morning, I was like, oh, okay, we'll fix it. And so, Debbie, that's a good question. So in that form, it's it's hard to see until you start typing into it, but the very last line of that form before you submit your files is a little expandable box that allows you to type in your information. So if you guys want to type it up like at home in a Word file or something like that and just copy and paste it into that box, it'll go right into that box. And then when you hit send, we get all of your information. So that we can know exactly, you know, what you were thinking with the Janice didn't she kind of skimmed over it a little bit. If you go to read it, we've come up with this morning. This is what happens when Janice gets a hold of me early in the morning, and I don't have my daily things clouding my creative brain. She's asked me like this, you know, like what should we do here to make this better? And I came up with the 3 whys of why you are submitting your photo. That's what we want to know. We want to know why you took the photo or why you composed it the way that you did. And the third why is why you post-processed it the way you did. And with those 3 pieces of information, we can give you a solid critique on your image that will help you grow as a creative rather than just our opinion about your photo, because everybody's got opinions about photos and anybody could give you an opinion on something. But our goal, Janice and my goal, is to try to help you guys get over your creative roadblocks. And so if you give us that information, we can give you, you know, a better chance of getting over those blocks. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then the thing too is that it's called feedback loop because we give homework to you guys. And I forgot to share with you. Let me see if I can grab this real quick. We'll go ahead and just share the screen. And I want to share Baz's work. So, AD, I don't think I put this in. So I just want to share that Baz has been working so hard on his water drop refractions. So he has more, now he's learned, so he's got this down, which is amazing. He's been working really hard. Now he's practicing stacking. So we're going to see Baz's work today on stacking. But isn't this gorgeous? Once he starts stacking this stuff like this, he's gotten rid of all those little, remember we were giving him homework on getting rid of those little the highlights and stuff?
Absolutely.
So now, so he's done a wonderful job. Thank you, Baz, for, you know, taking our, you know, you could take it or leave it with us, but, you know, he did. He listened to what we said and he's rocking it. I mean, he really is.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go to Catherine. It's your turn. So let's see. She says, I'm posting the image here. I took this photo outside with the Lens Baby 56 at f4. The ISO was 800 and the shutter speed was 1/8,000th of a second. I did not use a tripod, so I upped the ISO. I wanted a high-key image with these white flowers, but I'm not sure the editing in Lightroom is finished. I edited in a hurry, and I think I could do something more with the background. Well, she probably edited it with a hurry because she was feeling bad that I only had 2 pictures for the 2 images for the show. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is what she wants some tips. You know, she just started post-processing this. So I mean, I have some things. Do you want to talk about anything here? I know there's a couple things that I could.
This is a good example of not knowing the whys. So I don't know what, you know, other than that she was going for a high key image. And I'll tell you something very interesting that I'm looking at right now. So I have like 5 screens going on around me, and but only one of those screens is calibrated for photography work. And it's a screen that gets calibrated every 2 weeks religiously so that I know that if I'm working on photos that they're, you know, and so I'm looking at this on my uncalibrated monitor and the image looks all blown out and very soft and airy kind of looking. But then if I look back over at my calibrated monitor, it starts to look a little bit more contrasty. So I guess my question would be here is if Catherine wanted a more soft kind of summery or spring, airy, high key look to it, I would probably suggest even little less contrast and boost that high end a little bit more. I mean, looking at the histogram, it looks like she's up there pretty good, but I would squeeze it just a little bit more. But that's just me. But there's a little bit going on in the bottom of the image with the dark and a little bit behind the flower that's the dark. And I would probably try to lighten those areas just a little, not a lot, just a very little bit to achieve that, what she was going for. Other than that, though, I mean, starting with the Velvia 56, wonderful lens to work with for this sort of thing. That soft look that we've seen from her and her other images, which have been beautiful. She's definitely on track, and you know, I'm not sure what she needs for more feedback there. So I'd like to hear what your suggestions are.
Sure. So I know that. Okay, so Catherine, I know you're working on the. Let me remove this. You're working on the, real light, airy feeling. So what I would do, I would definitely pull all of these darks off when you're going into post-processing, because that's what you're shooting for. And so what I would definitely do is maybe even pull up the exposure a little bit. And then if you wanted to add, like, this is over exaggeration, okay, Catherine, but if you were to start off with the light and then, of course, add a little bit in, because I know you know how to do all that, but just blend it. I would like to see more of like a very light blending off and then moving up forward. So because the reason why I'm saying that is because really down here at the bottom, it's to me, it's all about this top area. So if you took the bottom part and just pushed up the lightness to a gradient all the way up, it would feel like it's moving up towards like this beautiful petals. I feel like it would go up. So that's my suggestion, is really start pushing up, like definitely the darks, and I would play with the gradient a little bit. You're going to have to watch it down in here over to the left. And I wish I would have done my mouse pose. I should do that in right now. But that's my suggestion. We have a lot of images, AD. So I think that we should
keep them moving.
Get going.
Yep.
So, but if you have any questions, Catherine, you just go for it, okay?
Yep, you're definitely on the right track, Catherine. It's a beautiful image.
Yes, gorgeous.
Just little suggestions is all.
Yes, for sure. Okay, I have to do something real quick because, sorry, this right here is what we're going to talk about next, but I got to read it because it is...
Preparation, Janice, preparation.
Prep.
Come on.
He was saying, Janice, how do you just do this
Last minute.
That's Janice. Okay, so check this out. This is from Kim Nordby.
Yay.
She has a beautiful work. Is Kim here? I don't know if Kim is here. Kim, are you here? So I love it when you guys are here. That's why it's so cool. We're going to have it at 1. So this way everybody can be here who submits images. So she calls this Perseverance. And this one is 1/100th of a second, f-stop 9 at. She used a 150 millimeter and her ISO was 64. She says the crocus is one of the first wildflowers in bloom in the spring. Oftentimes it has to endure cold, snow, and freezing temperatures despite the challenges it faces, and endures and perseveres and shines brightly through it all. So I totally get your story on what you're doing here.
Without the text at all, it totally comes through, for sure.
Yes. I mean, it is definitely showing how it's, just pulling out. I really love this. Look at how pretty that is.
Yeah, the detail and the detail in the snow and ice, and then the background line, the detail of the actual stalk itself is all very perfect. I mean, she nailed the focus right on. If I had anything to offer for this, is I would like to see that clump of snow that's right in the middle. That is a show stealer for me. That's trying to photobomb your beautiful flower and what it's doing. I think I would have tamped that down a little bit so that the background line that was in the background would have been more defined as just a dividing line, or your thirds line, and that snow didn't kind of reach up into the whiteout that's up at top. And it's kind of like bisecting the darkness and lightness of the whole photo. I really wish I had a pointer to be able to show you where I'm looking, but if you see there's dark on the left side, there's dark on the right side in the background, and then you have a divider in the middle. Well, because that's doing that, it's tending to steal a little bit. If you look at this image quickly, your eye will look at that snow like it'll keep going away from your main subject, which is the perseverance of the flower pushing through the snow. I think the snow is a secondary. It's a supporting actor here, right? And the actor is the flower itself, and then the background is again another supporting actor. So don't ever allow your actors to step on anybody else's lines in your show. Like, make sure that your star is really your star and is treated like that. So basically for me, my only suggestion here is it's a gorgeous, amazing image. It's just if she has another angle where that clump of snow is a little lower, and Kim says she's got it, so she's knowing right what's on it. Actually, she was hiding a weed. That's awesome.
Yeah, she said she was hiding a weed, but you know what? I have
scissors.
What you're saying right now, scissors. Okay, wait, but Kim, this is another thing I want you guys to know out there. The more you submit images, the more we know what you could do and what you can't do. So when we do these feedbacks, I definitely know how much I could push the people that are the more you send images, the more I can push or not push. So I know Kim very well. Kim, just do me a favor and clone this baby out right here because I love this.
It's gorgeous.
Because she's gotten I love the low, having that camera down low. Mm-hmm. I love how she's taken this part that's up here at the top. You could really see the details because of the white background, and the blue just gives it like that peaceful look, even though, and then that's why it's showing all this. So Kim, just do me a favor, take some time, take this baby out. And just clone it out and see what you can do. I want to give everyone a suggestion. This is what I do when I post-process. I look at it big and see this little thing to the left, the navigator. I purposely always leave my navigator up because just like what AD's saying right now, here's the actual king or queen or whatever. And this right here to the left, you could tell it's pulling you away. And that's how, when we see it up close, sometimes we don't really get it. But when you see it farther away like this, boom, you could see that, that's one technique to really look at your...
I would love to see a series of photos done like this. There's a challenge for you, Kim. I would love to see a series of images, not just the crocus, but other flowers. Even if you're staging it, would get your message and your point across in a series of images that feature snow and flowers. I mean, what a cool two things to put together that normally you don't see, right? That's just why that doesn't happen. So why not try it? And
I like her perseverance because she could have a whole portfolio, because when you're walking in the desert and you see this one little flower just hanging out there, you're like, holy crap. Just having a whole set of perseverance would be really, really cool to see.
Janice, while you're calling up the next photo, I'm going to answer some stuff in the chat really quick.
Okay.
There's some questions about how to calibrate your monitor. Since I'm the tech guy, I'll address this as quick as possible. The answers that people are giving in the chat are awesome. A spider system or color monkey, both of those are excellent for light meters that hang on the front of your monitor to put you through a bunch of steps. But I will tell you, both of the softwares from both of those companies suck. So don't use
like Color Monkey.
Sorry, they're garbage. Don't use them. Go get yourself a free program on the internet for Mac or for PC called DisplayCal, and it is a professional top line monitor calibration software that is worked on open source, and it's absolutely, it blows away any of these companies' software.
But I think it's hard to use, isn't it, AD?
No, you can watch one YouTube video and you'll be fine.
Okay, yeah. AD's a tech. Just if you're techie, go for it.
We talked about this earlier, right? We talked about this earlier. What's easy for me is not always easy for other people, but I will tell you that a little bit of learning to use this software will result in absolutely dead perfect color on your monitor that you don't have to fiddle with all the time, because they actually give you a little program that runs in the background to constantly make sure that your profiles are applied to the monitor. It even has drift compensation for blacks and whites, which you can't get with these softwares. I'll definitely hook you up, Janice, with a link for the video and a link for the software so you guys can check it out.
Yeah, because Karen wants to
Yeah,
get
because
it. So,
it's called Display Cal, CAL. I'll get you a link for it. And then here's the thing. If you decide that it's too tough and you don't want to do it, you can always go back to the software from the companies and just be like, yeah, that's good enough for me, and go with it. For me, I couldn't get 3 monitors that were from, like, 2 monitors from one company and 1 from another company. I couldn't get them to be the same. This was the only software that I could use that made all 3 monitors. The color was absolutely dead on perfect. Exactly. When I move a picture from one to the other, it's the same.
Yep.
So,
Oh, that's cool. Well, we'll definitely put it down below because,
Display Cal's free. It's totally free.
And that's even better.
Yep.
I think it's a little techie for me. That's why I didn't do it.
Yep.
But I don't know. I'm not positive, but we'll do it.
Gotcha.
We'll definitely check it out. Okay,
Next
so
one.
here is, yes, Veiled. And this is from Kim. She's at 1/640th of a second at f3.8. She used her 150 millimeter, and her ISO was 125. She says, do you know, this is great. I love this kind of stuff.
Is this
Because I'm an
echinacea?
artsy, though. I'm an artsy. So it says, do you know who I am?
Yes.
I live my life covered in a veil, shrouded in protection, surrounded by others to hide my true identity. Can you see me? Do you know me? Do you really know me? Do you like that, Kim? I did a good job, huh?
I think the flower is echinacea, right? But I don't know, like, what.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's what she's pointing me to. If it's the flower or something else I'm not seeing, which.
Well, you know what?
I'm horrible at these things.
You're techie. I'm artsy.
Right. That's why we're doing this together.
Right. We make a perfect pair.
Right.
Yeah. So do you want to go for it, or you want me to go for it, or whatever you want?
I think I think Kim's style is really starting to start to show in these soft images, and they're just gorgeous. And I think if I had homework for her, I think mostly I would just play with compositions a little bit, and maybe also make a suggestion of some things that I started doing when I was trying to just kind of make my own style. Was I started making non-standard compositions, like very wide panoramas, or straight up and cropping the image, or triptyching an image, just to see what it would look like if I put it on a wall that way. Because I believe that, like, what I see everybody submitting are easily wall hangers. What I call people are going to buy these and put them up on their walls. So you want to start thinking about, a triptych, or dividing your photo up into 3 different sections, or maybe some non-standard formats for some of these images too. So this is the next level of composition, right? And so for me, this image is quite targeted. The flower is dead center, like it's right there. I think I'd like to see her play with changing that a little bit, and trying to open up, instead of having it surrounded by things, have it on one side of the composition a little bit more. I'd have to play with it. You're the one who's actually, we talked about this. I don't have software available because I've got all this other junk running in the background. I can't really edit.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so AD has one idea. I have a little different idea. So you could take AD's idea too, but I have a different idea with this. So I really like your Veiled, and I get what you're saying on your Veiled. So this is where I'm coming from. So first of all, I'm thinking of the flower, and if I'm going to hang this up, it depends. This is something that I'm thinking about, because I like the veil. You could see it in here, you could feel it. Just because this is a Janice thing, has nothing to do with you. I'm just going to straighten it out just a bit, okay? Because this is a Janice anal thing. But I don't mind the center composition, but Kim, what I think that when you're talking about veiled, see over here to the top, right here, see, that adds the veil. So what I would do is actually take some of this and bring this over here. Again, I know Kim, I know what she could do. So I don't want people thinking, oh, Janice is just going to make me do all this stuff. No, I know Kim, and I know what she could do. So the bottom is good. It has the color, but I feel like the veil over here to the left is is losing a little bit, because I really do love this I actually like the composition in the middle. I actually like what she's stating.
Yeah,
but
I think
feel
the balance was throwing me off a little bit too. Probably my go-to is always change the composition if the balance is off. So that makes a lot of sense, Janice. Exactly what you're saying to me as well. And I do like that wispy kind of, but you can still tell over on that side. It would be nice to see that maybe kind of texture throughout around, like a vignette of that texture around the flower. And then the center composition is symmetrical, yes, and then we're good. Then we're okay. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. That's exactly. Okay.
I love
so
the
now,
light processing though, and the color and all that stuff is excellent.
Yes, very beautiful. And yay, I'm so excited. So now let me put this out. Okay, so I just want to see if Anne is here. Anne, are you here? Do I want to close this? Yes, I do. So
is now a good time to tell you that there's a button on YouTube that tells you who's in your chat?
Oh, is there a button that tells me? Tells you. I don't know these things.
Anne is not here. Anna's not here.
Oh, she's not here. Okay, bummer.
Unless she pops in 1 second.
Unless she pops in. Okay, well, she'll probably pop in later. So I'm very excited because Ann Newman is the first. She's stepping out of the plate of the box, and she's coming in and she's giving us images. This is the first time Ann has ever done this, so I'm very excited to have her. She'll be watching the after party, I guess, or the, the replay. Right. So Ann says that she's taken these. She took all of the images that she submitted were taken with a 90 millimeter macro lens, and she believes 50 or 100 ISO. She said she used a slow shutter, so she didn't really have that, but that's okay. So her goal for this, I want you to know, because when I don't know them, I go and do a little searching to see, I'm like, I want to know, how does this person photograph? What is the way they feel? How, what's going on with them? So Anne is a person that likes, she does macro, but it's more about, what is it? Where it's, now I'm losing it, AD. It's where it's all, you can't tell what it is,
Like abstract?
Abstract.
There you go.
Jeez, woo. So she's an abstract macro photographer. Gotcha. So that's what I want you to know. So she says she wanted to show the colors of the stamen on this one. She has two more. So, but I want you to know that she's an abstract photographer. Do you have anything that you would like to say here for this one? Because she was really working on the colors of the stamen, which I would believe is this right in here, correct?
Absolutely great. I mean, the colors are bold, but they're not like overdone, overstated. I can still see all the detail. There's nothing blown out. So all of that's great. The focus stack is, I'm assuming it's focus stack because it's quite, the entire flower is pretty much in focus. The only thing is you've got a photo bomber, as I've said before, because if your story here is the stamen, then let's get in on that and let's get rid of that leaf in the background, because all you really have, I mean, think how delicate this is going to be. Janice will show you. Boom, you crop it and you can immediately see the power of the image goes up by 10 because you don't have something crowding the frame trying to steal your fire. And
look at that.
Yeah, that's all that's really needed to make this, a great image. To print it, put it up on the wall. I mean, and so many people, I love this. I mean, you guys submit these images, whatever you guys ever do, here's my best advice I can give you. Never get frustrated. Never give up, because if you saw the curve of people that gave up just before they hit it big, they always give up just before they drop. Like
sad.
Don't give up. Just keep going, because you ultimately should be doing this for your own pleasure and for nobody else's. And it sounds selfish, but as an artist, at some point you will realize that the only reason why you do this is because it makes you happy.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, because if you look at the greatest artists in the world, it wasn't about what people said about, like critiques said about, or critics, because we're not critiquers and critics are two different people. Right. You know how I feel about that. But it's, criticism, they didn't listen to it. They did their thing because it made them happy. So you guys just keep on going. These are just ideas for things that we've seen through experience in our own work, but that doesn't mean that they're going to push your button and make you happy. So,
right.
you know, that's the thing. If you find it makes you happy, then go for it. Steal the idea and run with it. Go make $1 million at it. And, you know, come back and say, hey, these guys taught me that. But, you know,
I want you to come back and give us some good shout outs. You know what?
Give us your shout outs.
See how when we get in close, and the reason why I was getting in close is because she's an abstract macro photographer. So I was
amazing.
like, you got to get in close.
Yep.
And then you could really see the stamen now.
Yep.
So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful image.
Yeah, it's a great image. It really popped. And out of all the selections that came, I mean, this one drew a lot of attention real quick because of that, you know, the white background, but the leaf was just killing me. So.
Yeah. So it works out really good. Look at how pretty that is now. Okay, so here, now this is more like her. When I looked at her work and stuff,
gorgeous.
I was like, yeah. So, okay, so here is Lily Lines.
Oh, that's a great picture.
She said to show the curve of the stamen rising up, letting the rest of the lily be the backdrop. So this is like her work, which is really, really pretty. And I love the glowing
feel. Do me one quick favor, Janice, because you're the editing queen here. You see the lower left-hand corner where there's like kind of a dark part of the leaf? Just lighten that up just a little bit, and I think that photo is done. Because I just think that's because there isn't enough opposite there, because it's opposite all the other stamen that are nice and colored.
Yes,
and it's not balanced on the other side. If you take a little bit of that tone out of there, this image just is the balance and everything is just gorgeous. The light is amazing.
It glows now. See, so here's the before where it's dark and it's glowing. I like it.
Beautiful image.
I really love how it just glows. It's so cool. Very, very cool. Let's look at her other one. So this one, she had a question. This is called Rose and Rain. Mm-hmm. She says to show the raindrops, the curves, the angles, the colors. Just not sure if I included too much. Should I crop?
You did include too much. I'll tell you right out. Anybody who knows, Scott Norris knows me. He knows what I'm going to say right now. If I pause long enough, Scott will say it for me in the chat. But you cannot put a contrasting triangle or a contrasting in a corner, because it all you do is see that corner. Yes, Scott says, I know. So by taking that contrast out of that, you're going to reduce this to the colors of the image, the tones, right, that she's looking for here. The message is still there. The curves are still there. You're still going to get the overall. And here's Janice is already practicing with an odd crop. This isn't something that your standard 11 by 18 or whatever, 8 by 10. I don't even know the right numbers anymore because I've cropped so many weird crops anymore. I love them. I love just different shaped photos on my wall. I don't want them to all be the same, right? And so just by eliminating that contrast, though, that really bumps up the power of this image quite a bit more, and the message is not lost. And when you're doing those crops or you're doing your in-camera framing, that's the question you should ask yourself in your mind. Am I taking away from this photo? Or if your answer is no, then take the photo and take it home and find out if it's better. You can always take it both ways and compare them side by side. But you're not doing a whole lot of service here just having that dark in the corner.
And the reason why I cropped this way is because I knew what she liked. I mean, she definitely would. I mean, this is her style with the lines.
I just love the tones, though. The tones are great.
And the tones, and she's gotten the water drops and the feel. To me, it's crazy. It's like, I don't know what I have this thing where I can kind of know what the people, I don't know what it is. This is an Ann Newman photograph.
right.
And I just met the person.
Yep.
I don't know. I just could tell that this is, I bet you when she watches this, she's going to be like, yes, this is.
And I think the only thing to say here, Janice, is probably the thing that she was questioning in her mind is, what is it that's not clicking for me in this photo? That's why she submitted it. And probably didn't know about that part of it. But you always want to make sure that your corners don't have, you're not bisecting your corner with a dark, like a triangle, what I call a triangle in the corner of dark contrast, because our eyes cannot unsee that. We have a real, as humans, unless you're telling people, look at this corner,
Right. That's
know?
what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Unless there's a meaning for that, then that's different.
Absolutely.
But yeah, great image though. And
loving it.
sometimes we just need this. This is so nice too that Anne and the rest of them just throwing this out here. Sometimes you just see your stuff so much, you're just like, I just need some help. This is driving me crazy.
Well, we said it at the last show too. You don't have to submit your best work. I mean, if you want praise, go stick it on Flickr or something. You'll get 1 million people to like it. But, bringing an image to us, there should be questions like if you're submitting an image,
Right, exactly. We're here to help.
Yep.
Okay, so now we're with Baz, and Baz is really working on focus stacking. So that's what's really cool. So he's gotten his drops going, and now he's really focusing on stacking. So he says macro stacked photos. My goal was to take a stack of these without any movement between the shots, unlike my last venture. And he actually did show an image in the Facebook group of a failed stack, which kudos to you, Baz, because people just don't do that. They want to throw up the good stuff. Excuse me. So I really appreciate him. So he says, let's see, he says, achieve this time, I think. Yes, he's getting it. So Nikon D5300, a Sigma 105 millimeter macro lens. He used a tripod and manual 5 seconds delay between shots. You really only need 3 seconds, Baz, but that's okay. He was like making sure.
Oh, you got to let him percolate a little bit. Yeah. A little percolation.
So yeah, the flower was shot, he says 3 times. He used f/29 at 1/3 of a second.
Gotcha.
So that's what the flower's right here. He submitted 3 images.
Okay.
So if you want to go, or whatever you.
The very first thing that's shouting out at me, and if you just grab a hold of the shadows, Janice, and pull the shadows down. What's happening, and I'm seeing this on my regular monitor. Yeah, push them up real quick. I don't mean to do this to you, Barry, but so always check your photos. You see, as it's pushed up, you can see that where the edited background and where the background is kind of sneaking in there. On my uncalibrated monitor, I could easily see that, but on my calibrated monitor, I could still see it. And so that means that maybe his monitor is not calibrated, it's too dark, and he's not seeing it. But I'm seeing like that halo around all of the images there. And that maybe part of that might just be Facebook to you, to Dropbox.
Yes, this is Facebook. Yeah.
I mean, it just
These
might
are
be their compression, but always just be aware of that, of that background when you're stacking. There can be those artifacts that appear. And what you can do, Janice, I'll tell you a quick trick. If you go to curves right now, if you just go to your tone curves, and you click on the eyedropper selection tool, which is right there, and hover over the shadow right near the flower petal, and just
like one of these,
and pull down, click and pull. Yeah, there you go. So you can easily only affect areas with the curves just by doing that simple little trick. So yeah, Barry, Baz, if you're not seeing the background, that's what you're saying in chat, it's probably because your monitor is a little darker than mine. Mine is calibrated and I'm still seeing it. And then on my uncalibrated monitor, it was really like jumping like right at my face. So if you're not seeing it, your monitor may be a little dark.
So yeah, that's something that if you're going to print, you might want to check that out.
That will really come out in printing. Yes. So Baz, I wanted to ask you, why are you going to f/29? Because when I know there is photographers and they're very professional and they push it up like that, but when you get the f/29, that starts getting it actually starts making things blurry. So with F8 at the most, usually
F8,
if I'm stacking.
Yes, he has a Sigma 105. So this is what I always suggest. If the Sigma, I don't know what a Sigma is, but you can pretty much find out in Sigma what is the sharpest f-stop in your lens. Well, and I would use that.
Yeah, let me just interject really quick. So lenses are calibrated at f8 for sharpness edge to edge. So if you go to if you go to f22, your image will be sharp in the center, but it may get a little unsharp out at the very edges of the lens itself. But all lenses are calibrated to f8 to be the sharpest edge to edge. Yep.
I thought it was just, each one was different.
No.
But I always use f8 when I stack.
Yep.
Just because if I'm taking the time, this is something that I want you to practice with, Baz. If you're taking the time to stack, you might as well use the sharpest part of your lens to learn to stack and work with that first. That's your homework. I definitely want you to play with that. So let's go to his dandelion, because I'm looking at time, so we got to get rolling here. And so here's his dandelion.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, isn't that cool? So puffy. I love it.
And sharp.
Oh my gosh.
That's nice and sharp.
Yeah, I love it. I think you did an excellent job. He did use f32, but I'm still wanting you. I know it's because he did 5 times, but I still want you to go ahead and still play with the f8.
I'll tell you right now, man, it's one of those things. Once you try f8 and you see how much sharper it is, even than what you've already got, you'll be like, what? It'll be mind blown. It's, Charlie, so focus stacking is actually taking focus of different planes of the image in depth. So you would focus at the front of the image, the middle of the image, the back of the image, and then you would stack those together in a special proprietary software or Photoshop you can do it in, and it'll give you a very high level of detail through the entire image. So that's what we're talking about, focus stacking. That's taking multiple slices of the image and then putting them all together to make a final image where they're ultra sharp.
And welcome, Charlie.
Yes.
Woo-hoo! It's not a dumb question. I'm telling you that right now. There's no dumb questions here.
Nope.
Never. Okay, so now with this one, so Baz, I'm glad you're here. So we're practicing focus stacking. Mm-hmm. This is what his goal is. This is what you focus stacked? I was kind of curious about this image. So please tell me in the chat. What he did was this was at f4.5.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. The only reason why is because I looked at this image very, 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 very closely because that was cool. I mean, I wanted to see it. And it's a little front focused for me. It's just a tad bit like focused in areas and not focused in other areas. It's confusing to my eye.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask him, because
shots.
Like you could see this right here is in focus.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if this was his stack where he started, if this was because it's out of focus here and then it is focused right in here.
Yeah, it's confusing to me a little bit.
Yeah, so I agree. So I think Barry, it's a 3-stack shot.
Okay.
Well, a lot of times when we go in nature, we'll do this with the foreground in focus, the background and this. But remember too, if you're using 105 macro lens and you're getting up close, you're going to have to use way more than 3 stacks on this. So Barry's just diving right in.
That's awesome. And the other thing other people are out there might not be aware, but what you're looking at is very, very, very small. So when we start shooting in macro tinier things, and those folks that shoot all the time out there know this, is that controlling your focus gets to be nearly like pull your hair out kind of stuff, because it's just like every little movement like moves the focus a lot.
Right. It's so tough.
Yeah, we have this same kind of moss, Barry, and when we go out hiking, I love finding this stuff because it's like a whole new world. Like and everything is so tiny and but it's tiny, but it's so detailed at the same time. There's a lot of things that are small but don't have a lot of detail to them. But these are like large versions of plants that have been shrunk down into a miniature world. It's absolutely fascinating. We have this kind of moss around where I live, and it's absolutely a joy to take your camera out and just get lost in these tiny worlds.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Keep more. Okay. I want to see more, so keep shooting.
Yes, definitely, Baz. And he's going to like it because we're going to go to 1:00. So
okay.
So now, So Debbie, you are amazing, but because of my time frame, I won't be able to read everything, but I do want everyone to know that she is absolutely amazing. She works very hard on her flower images, and she just got her website out. You got to see Debbie. I don't even know if you could put that in the chat or not, but
probably
she
not.
just had, oh, that's
Unless,
such a bummer.
is she a mod?
Yes, she is.
She can put a link in then. Yes, she should be.
Debbie, put your link in there so people can see it. It's just absolutely gorgeous. She did a wonderful job. So let's see. So let's do this. So here is the rosebud that she photographed in her garden. So it was the first flower to pop in her garden from the season. How exciting is that?
It's hellebore.
Heck yeah. So let's see. She has cool temperatures. She had a challenge of isolating the clutter-free background. Let me show you the before. So here's her clutter. I think she did an amazing job. She said, and the wind. She said it was quite challenging. We know about that stuff. That's kind of, it's crazy. So she used 2 photographs to create the final image. So then here is, let me just go back to her image.
Hellebore is a very delicate flower. We have quite a bit of this planted here at our house too, and it's blooming, and it's so, yeah, the wind is like nuts with these things.
I've never seen one of these before. We don't have them in California.
It's called Lenten rose or hellebore is what its typical name is about.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yep. So she used her Lens Baby Velvet 85, and her ISO was 1000 with my ISO was probably 100. I don't know. Did you really use 1000? Maybe, because she was doing the wind with the shutter speed of 1/90th of a second. Wow. You would think it'd be blurry. She did a great job. My aperture, well, then I'm confused, because then it says my aperture was you didn't know if it was f8 or f11 because it's a Lens Baby. Yes, got you on that one for sure. So she says she photographed some of the leaves. I used Janice Sullivan's macro lens painting technique to create the image. Oh, cyber hugs, Debbie. That's so cool. In Photoshop, I added blur to the background of the image and then added a second photo on top to blend it all together. This ended up being a really special image for me because it symbolizes first for me. Oh my gosh, first. You know what I mean? Like the first bloom of the year. Very nice. So I used my mom's sister's garden. Oh, she goes, she used a photograph from her sister's garden for the first time ever. And when she visited and came out here to California. So
she says that's the second image.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
she
God.
used the technique on.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Got it.
Which is the one my favorite, by the way, is the second image. Yeah, that's just amazing.
Okay, so you know what, I'm not sure exactly what you wanted on. Is it because Debbie, tell me, is there something? I mean, I know that it's your first image. I know you wanted it soft. I think it's successful, so I don't really know what to say. I want to know did you read this, AD? Because I'm just curious on.
It was TLDR for me, so I did not, because I thought you would read it to me.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm reading the wrong one. This one is my second image. Is the Lenten rose flower?
No, they're both Lenten rose flowers. One is open and one is closed. And she said that she used your technique in the second image she used as the background, which has got the kind of cool background thing, which is the flower open. Yep.
She's so awesome. Okay, let's see.
She used 2 photos to create that, she said.
Oh, okay. But I like it, so I don't really know what to say about it. I mean, I don't know what I don't know.
I think between the 2 photos, I think the second photo is more successful, personally.
That
No. You're looking at the same photo. Go to the second photo, which is the opened photo. So you're confusing.
Yeah, this one's gorgeous too.
Yeah, I think that this one for me is it shows your work. It shows I like everything about it. It's symmetrical. I like the way that it's framed out. The other photo for me is I can see the stamen in the inside, but I would have liked it to be stacked so that the petals were also in focus. But I like the background the way it is. But,
I love that.
But I would like the front of the flower to be more in focus. The other photo for me is spot on, perfect.
See, Debbie, what
Everybody's
we're talking
different.
about when everyone's different. Okay,
Yep.
So let me tell you, we went into so it really is getting a great idea of all different things. So we were in one of our membership. We meet up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so she got some suggestions from some of the other members.
Great.
So I personally love this inside, all nice and just sharp, because that's my gig. You know what I mean? That's what I love.
Yep.
Some of the other members wanted it, was saying, hey, how about doing it softer? So she did it. That's what's so cool about Debbie. She just rocks it. She'll just try anything to see what floats, she just goes for it. Right. And that's what I love about Debbie.
Yeah, I like the
she'll
soft look to it. I definitely like that. I just wish that the petals of the flower were more in focus, like the stamens in focus. So a stack bringing it forward, but then put that soft look back on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like
right.
She did that with the second image, image of it open, and that's why I think this one's a winner, is because, she gets it. Yep. She said it makes sense. So
yes, totally. Okay, so let's go to her other.
That's a gorgeous image. I'd buy a print of that for sure.
I know, isn't it beautiful?
And this one
she
too.
did a great job. This one's beautiful too.
Yeah.
And you know what? I want to just say, there's really nothing I can say about this one too. Yeah. You know what she did though? This is the first time she did this. So I think that this is great for other people to see. So what she did was is that she did, it's a ranunculus flower, and I love those flowers anyways. So what she did was, this was at her florist that shut down, which you should definitely give him this image when it opens up again. Yep. But what she did was she took her 100 millimeter macro lens in the tripod, and she shot at f2.8. She wanted a soft, dreamy look. But what I really love about this is that she took several different exposures. And so what she did was she blended them all together. She auto-aligned them, and then she masked each of them, and she brushed in and out areas of light and darkness into the layers. Great. And she worked with Siri and Kim in the membership program. I swear you ladies rock. And this is what I love, because she taught her a few things and tricks to blend modes just by hanging out with people. That's what's really nice, And I feel it's very successful and gorgeous, and I would buy this too. This is just absolutely, she just did a great job with hanging out with members in the program. I photographed it on my light pad. Oh yeah, and I want to see that eventually too. That's definitely something I want to see. Is that it? I think that's it. I think we're ending with beautiful Debbie's image. Now, do you guys have any questions? We can come back to us, because guess what? It's an hour. Wow. I did it. I am so good. You know what's so funny is that I really did want to read all of Debbie's goodies, because she writes so good. Absolutely. But when we started getting a lot of the images, I thought, I better wait for the end just in case we didn't have, the time constraints.
Yep, time is a killer.
Matthew. Hi, Matthew. Matthew's here from Japan.
Sweet.
Yay, nice to see you. So Debbie, if you have questions, let us know. And any of you guys, all good. Okay, perfect. But if any of you guys have any questions afterwards for me and AD, just write them down in the comments below. We definitely will be checking those out. And I had a blast again, AD. This is so much fun.
It was fun.
Thank you so
much. Absolutely. I had a good time. I did have some equipment time stuff to show, but we'll save it. We'll save it.
Can you do it real quick? How long?
Well, it's not really photography though, so it's kind of more of like a project for people who want to teach other people. So maybe it's not like it doesn't fit in to this too perfectly. So I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm gonna hold on to it. I'll run it by you first, and then we'll see if we want to share it some other time. It's nothing spectacular. So You guys aren't missing
well,
much.
probably. Okay. Well, maybe we'll hold it for the next one. But I want to let you guys know that, again, we will be here. I want to mark your calendars on the 14th. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel and join us. And if you liked this Macro Chat live show with me and AD, how about a thumbs up? And of course, share your macro stuff out to the world. It's awesome.
Quick question, Janice, before you, I know you're getting ready to sign off.
Yes.
Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate that. Charlie, Janice, I need to ask you. Charlie says, what's the deadline for submitting photos? Are we just going to leave the door open and just take the photos as they come? That way there is no deadline. You just submit them and we're going to try to get them on the show because we're still kind of struggling with time. But I don't know. Yes. This is up to you because it's your show.
I'd say let's just it's first come, first serve.
Okay.
And as we're going, and then if it starts becoming a problem where we have a lot of images, then I will cut it off. We'll just see how things flow since it's so new. This is a new fun adventure. And I'm really hoping now that we've got this thing all set up that people will have an easier way to do it.
Awesome.
And yay. So great question. Thank you so much. Very cool. Thanks for stopping me, AD.
Debbie, 2 weeks on the 14th we're doing, right? Is that right? Janice, are we doing?
Yes, we will. We could do, hey, if you're up for it, AD, and you all send images, we will have a feedback. It's up to you, AD.
I'm fine. Debbie's just asking when the next show is. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay. Yeah, the next show is in 2 weeks.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 14th.
Okay.
Awesome.
Cool.
All righty. Well, you guys all stay safe. And remember, your 1,000 words does make a difference. Cheers, everyone.
Ciao.